Good morning, good morning. Happy Sunday. Sitting here with a cup of coffee, just chilling. Currently there's not a person here, so I might, if you're listening to this at a later point, might be a bit of silence here in the beginning as I just sit back and sip some coffee, listen to some ambience. Wife's also got Cable Guy on the TV. It's been a good weekend. I was hoping to, good morning. How are you, Mr. Blades? If you would be so kind as to just let me know that the audio is working all right, that maybe I don't sound like a robot this morning. Good morning, dog lover. How are you? It is still morning for another 15 minutes, so I'm taking it and I'm running with it. The coffee today tastes especially good. Good morning, Frank. How are you? Happy Sunday. Welcome to the most casual live stream in the world. Well, I don't know. Some of those lo-fi radio channels are pretty casual, because that's all they do is upload lo-fi 24/7. Can you hear me all right? Awesome. The audio is working. That makes me very happy. I think I've selected a decent background for today. I really have hardly any topics. Beautiful Nightmare did stop into the Discord this morning and suggest that I talk about the upcoming Confronting Evil and the upcoming Locust Lake book, which is a very valid point, and I'd love to do that. But it's all I've been talking about, and considering the new book is going to be coming out in about 2 weeks, it's what I'm going to be talking about for a while after. So I'm going to spare you guys another half an hour shameless plug. Good morning, Frank. How are you? Dog lover, are you experiencing audio issues? Anyways, though, I do want to go ahead and just put it out there that Nightmare's grandmother is in the hospital. So if you want to, maybe offer out your prayers, or just, keep her in your thoughts and her family in your thoughts. I know that she'd probably appreciate that. So just wanted to kind of put that out there as well. I think that's a much better talking point, at least for the moment, than the new book or the next Confronting Evil. Good morning, dear.
Good morning.
Gotcha. The volume was muted.
Sorry. Good morning.
Pockets is here. That's happened to me before as well, dog lover. So you're not the only one that does it. And I've had other people have that happen to them, and no, I've never suggested to someone, hey, check your mute button. And it's not because I don't think it could be their mute button. I think it's a very good possibility, because I've done it as well. But I don't want someone to be offended by me being like, you should check your mute button. At least we've figured out the issue, which is good.
So he has a filter, unlike me, who has no filter. So mute buttons are important.
Frank and dog lover say good morning.
Hi. Sorry, I was going to be here on time, but my stomach with the nausea called me away. It's my second morning, actually. I was up without an alarm at 4 a.m. Eyes open bright. Okay, time to do stuff. Wait, it's Sunday. Shit, what do I do? So I took my morning Klonopin then and went back to sleep until the hubby was up. Poor guy's been sleeping in the bed alone for the past, 2-3 nights?
That's because last night I couldn't wake you up.
No, they went ahead and gave me a med change. And so now I'm taking 300 milligrams of Seroquel at night. So when I just told him today, when I say it's time to go to bed, we need to go.
Like, you guys hear the background music all right? Is the volume level good? This is something I'm still kind of like toying
Getting
with,
used to.
and this is actually like a really good ambience channel. I'm gonna be live reading Locust Lake Origins, Lady of the Water, this Friday, and I'm gonna have background music. I want to have, you know, background video, obviously, but I want to make sure that the music is heard without being overpowered. So just trying to get a good feel for the volume levels. I did go back and listen to last week's live stream to kind of see where it fell at. It wasn't too bad. So, dog lover cannot hear it. This live stream ambience channel is very low, so let me turn it way up. Can you hear it now?
Oh, we're in the Verizon commercial again.
I will go ahead and turn it up maybe to here. Only because this ambience channel is a little bit lower, and I think it's between tracks now. I think now it just like kind of died off. There it is. So.
I need to teach one of the cats how to play gin rummy.
Ooh, I can hear it. And I'm on 8. And that is not a quietish one. So we'll put this back down to here. There we go. Hopefully that's a little better. There we go. Still fiddling with the volume levels. This is going to be fun. I can't wait either. It'll be the first time I've actually read this one live, and just like the Blackwoods, the Stony Heart of the Blackwoods, the first Jacob Treagle story, that does have dialogue in it. This one's actually really good. It's set up really well for live reading, because it's got no dialogue in it. It's all just a campfire story, basically. So, yeah, I'm really excited to read it too. And I'm not gonna lie, like I am doing this on purpose. Like, you know, the Lady of the Water, Locust Lake Origins. If I'm able to, I'll put up the repurposed live stream on Wednesday, and then the following Saturday after that Wednesday, because the day after the live stream is Confronting Evil 5. But the Saturday after that is the brand new Locust Lake story from the book. And then like 3 days after that is the book drop, and then the promotion stream for the book.
Book drop? Are we at population 1? There's a book drop over there! Book drop! Book drop!
I think that's just the term the community uses. Does sound like that, though.
That was supposed to be fun.
I smiled.
That was from in the kitchen.
Good morning, Fearsome. How are you?
Good morning.
I'm watching some of this desktop audio go out of control here, and we turn this down. I think the old volume level was probably more appropriate. At least it kept it at a decent enough level. I don't want to be overpowered here. Though, I do like this track. It's Ice Demon by Kevin MacLeod. I use it for a lot of my, like, cyber data encryption scary stories. Like, not mine, but, like, binary DNA. This always, like, felt like a really good fit to go with, like, binary DNA. Technological ghost stories. Oof! I'm so sorry. You have no nicotine. I will not talk about my vape.
Where's the cigarette? I just got that.
I will, however, talk about this coffee. Yum.
I will talk about this cup. I like this cup. It is a nice cup. It keeps liquid.
I said coffee.
I thought you said cup. Like, I will we can't talk about coffee. I'll talk about this cup.
But yeah, I'm dropping all this Locust Lake stuff, staggered basically every few days, a week at tops for the next, like, 2.5, 3 weeks. because the new book is dropping. Kind of want to get as many eyes back on Locust Lake as I possibly can. That way when the book drops, it's relevant. It took a lot of work to get this book complete. But it really came out fantastic. I've been going through it again with a fine-tooth comb, and I really can't find a whole lot of anything. I've changed a couple of things I want to fix, little errors, little minor things, but it's good to go. Scream is based on true stories, but it's based on a true story like Silent Hill is based on a true story. Silent Hill, the story about a town, the coal mines caught fire, and then it shifts between hell and our world because of that's not all true. Now, it did take place in Centralia, Pennsylvania, and Centralia did have its coal mines catch fire. And if you go there, it looks all smoky and foggy. And Doughboy, who's actually been there, says that the ground is so hot that if you hold a match to the ground, the match will catch fire. You still can't go into the coal mines to this day because the coal mines are still burning. And that's where they got the idea for Silent Hill. But it's not like Silent Hill itself is a true story. So Scream, yes, is based on true stories, but not like it's not a direct interpretation of any stories.
I think somewhere in Africa or South America, they were drilling, and then all of a sudden they hit a methane pocket.
Good morning, Edge.
And so they figured, okay, we'll just burn off the methane. Now, mind you, this was 84 years ago. It's still burning. Like, you could walk up, or, well, not walk up to the edge of it. That would be a bad idea. But you can see flames coming out of that. I think they should do a movie based around that kind of thing.
It's a good idea. It's not.
And I even read up on that to see if it was true, and it is true. You can see it actually from Google Maps from in space.
I mean, here's a really good example. Psycho with Norman Bates, made by Alfred Hitchcock, the dude at the motel, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the dude with the leather face, the guy cutting people's faces off and wearing them, killing people with a chainsaw. I mean, it's in the title. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Those two movies are based on the same thing, and they're really not a whole lot alike. Like, one takes place in a hotel, dude dresses up as his mom and kills people that stay at the hotel, because he killed his mother and he snapped, and it created a psychological split in his brain. And the other is about some family in Texas wearing people's faces, killing them with chainsaws and eating them. Couldn't really be a whole lot further apart, but both of those are based on the same true story of Ed Gein, which was a serial killer in Montana. He used to rob graves, turn body parts into furniture, wear women's skin as clothing. He had a whole woman suit, actually. So the skin suit, dressing up as a woman like Norman Bates, it's kind of like each movie took different parts of everything and just went separate directions with it. So it is really neat how things can spawn so differently from the same source material.
Well, look at how many scary stories have been
But
made about...
back then, people were creative.
Look how many scary stories that have been made just from New York. You got Sleepy Hollow. A couple other ones I can't remember, but there's some.
Glad you're all doing well.
Set in Syracuse. I think one is set in Buffalo. It's actually kind of cool. That's hot. I'm almost out of my non-dairy creamer. I mix French vanilla caffeine with that. Scratch in your sleep. Why did the cat get you? Cat has evil claws.
Apparently the cat has evil claws. Even though I was not sleeping with any cat last night, so...
Who ran over you last weekend? Was it last weekend?
I don't know.
You woke up to the cat, like, running across you, you said?
I don't remember.
I do know he was not happy about that. What a way to wake up.
Yeah, I know, right? People can be original. What? People can have, like, two completely different ideas about the same source material and have it be, like, have them be so wildly different because of creative differences. Like, yeah, it's amazing, right?
It's kind of cool, though, I think.
Yep. Psycho and Texas Chainsaw Massacre both were inspired by Ed Gein. Shiloh is sleeping. She's up very late on her laptop, and yes, I think she's also growing.
Because she's been eating and eating. Of course, you know, she could be
good.
Just getting secondhand and just having munchies.
No, she's probably eating because she's growing.
I mean, we have a cigarette, and she goes in her room, but she goes in her bedroom. Give me your ashtray. What? I can't use it.
Yep, so we're hoping that she gets up soon, but
we'll
if
probably have to wake her up because it's Sunday.
It's cool. Let the child sleep.
I'll tell you this, though. On Friday, I woke up. This kid was up at 4:30. I told her, you're going to school. I don't care if you're tired. You're going to school. That kid got right up for school, and she went. She did not fall. I made sure that she didn't fall asleep at any of her classes. She didn't. She stayed home, she stayed up, came home, and then went right to sleep.
Yep, and we also took away her devices for 2 days as well. Good morning, PA. How are you? Yeah, I saw you guys talking on Discord late last night. I was just letting you go. I figured if, you're both that deep in conversation, I just kind of watching. And I was also watching TV, and about 2:30, I had to go conk out. Strongest is going to be 3 days. Fearsome. The first 3 days are the absolute worst. If you can get through those first 3 days, after that, it's a downhill slope from there. You will always have the urge. So just, like, not strong. Like, you won't be, having a fit. But if you're around someone who's having one, if you smell it, you're gonna go right back there again, and that's the thing about quitting. That's the hardest thing.
For 3 years until I started smoking.
It's hard to not go back. My wife's a great example. I got her switched.
I am switching back and forth.
I got her switched over to a vape 100%. She didn't smoke for 3 years. She didn't smoke. During that 3 years, I would hear things like, ew, this smells like cigarettes. This person smells like cigarettes. That person's smoking cigarettes, and they shouldn't be smoking cigarettes because they're really bad for you. And then New York made it impossible to get vapes and vape juice. So for a while, we didn't have the equipment to vape. So we went back to smoking. And now trying to get her back 100% to her vape, it's very hard. So even after 3 years of being like anti-smoking, still really easy just to slip right back into it.
I'm actually going to see if Medicaid will cover hypnosis, because they're trying that out. They've been doing that. My neighbors growing up, Mike and Nancy, both had it done. And they never picked up another cigarette in their life.
The reason why it didn't take is the reason I started buying the cigarettes again in the first place. And that was because the neighbors kept giving her cigarettes. She would do something nice for the neighbors, and then the neighbors would give her a cigarette. or they'd give her a pack of cigarettes. Even though she vaped, she didn't smoke. So every once in a while, she started doing that. Then she started craving the cigarettes and wanting the cigarettes. And then we ran out of vape batteries, and her vape broke. So then she was 100% cigarettes and back on it again. So even if I stopped buying cigarettes, she's just going to have other people get the cigarettes for her, or other people will give her cigarettes. There's no getting her away from it unless she wants to get away from it.
Hey, you see this here though? Look at this. This is. I'm
not ragging on you. I mean, I'm just saying I know how hard it is to quit. Even now, like I have my vape. My vape's all up and working and whatnot. But I had a cigarette this morning. I've been smoking like 3 a day.
And I put papers in that bag too for you for the morning.
So I'm trying to get back to my vape, and I really can vape now 100%. Cigarette every once in a while is back now to a luxury. I can now just vape all day, no problem, which is good. But it took me months to get back to that point.
If we go someplace, I will not bring cigarettes. I will bring my vape.
And I was actually doing good because I was on 12 milligrams of nicotine. And I went down to 9, and I went down to 6. And I was actually getting ready to go down to 3 when my vape died. And I didn't have batteries and couldn't get the shit in New York and all that stuff.
So my bubble beat?
No, so I started smoking cigarettes, which upped my nicotine intake again from there. But I was actually getting ready to move down to 3 and then down to 0 and just vape the juice and then just kind of try and stay away. So I was trying to work my way down, and I was almost there. It took me years, but I was almost there. But I am back now on my vape, and I'm back now on 6 milligrams of nicotine. So I'm still halfway to where I started at vaping 3 years ago. So it took me a couple months to get back to it, but I'm back to 6. Yeah, see, people do know that she quit. This is my problem. People knew that she quit. People knew that my wife she's a cancer survivor.
That was cervical cancer. It wasn't lung cancer.
That doesn't matter.
I have asthma, and I used to have COPD. I do not have COPD.
That doesn't matter. You know smoking can cause any kind of cancer. It just usually causes lung cancer. I know. And if you have any kind of cancer, it's not good. It's not good for you. Smoking for a surviving cancer patient isn't good. Anyway, as I was saying, so she used to smoke and she used to have cancer. She survived cancer. She quit smoking, and everybody knew that she quit smoking, and yet everybody was trying to get her to smoke cigarettes. Vapes are bad for you. Vapes are this. Vapes are, you shouldn't. Vapes are you should smoke. Here, just have cigarettes. Here, smoke a. I know you want a cigarette. And that kind of pissed me off because it took me a long time to get her off of cigarettes. She'd wake up in the morning and wheeze. She wouldn't be able to breathe, and I'd be listening to her wheezing and wheezing and wheezing. So not yet, but you were doing that, and then I got you finally after 10 years. I got you to quit. I quit cigarettes and got her to quit cigarettes. And her breathing instantly got better. And I got her vaping, and everybody was trying to get her to go back to smoking cigarettes. Everybody's saying vapes are bad. Vapes cause you popcorn lung. It's not just because it's a Juuls. There's 2 different kinds of chemicals that work as accelerants for your vape. One of those actually produces the same vapor as the steam that comes off of popcorn bags. And that's why they tell you to hold your face away from a popcorn bag when you open it. If you eat like 7 bags of popcorn every single day, or if you work in a popcorn factory, that steam, that gas, I can't remember the exact name of it, will give you popcorn lung. That's the stuff that if they put that in the vape can give you popcorn lung. It's poison. It's bad for you. There's another chemical, though, they usually use it for the liquids, for the box vapes. The other one, the dangerous ones, usually put in the disposables, like Juuls. The other one is, it's safe. It doesn't cause popcorn lung. They don't know the long-term effects of it, but they have done short-term studies overseas in Europe and Russia. And if you read those studies and how they're conducted, they're conducted right, they're conducted credibly, and I don't want to go into the logistics of it, but I do recommend looking at those studies instead. Vaping isn't good for you, but it's 95% safer. Yes, popcorn lung. They call it popcorn lung because the gas from popcorn bags that's why you hold your face away from it. You have tiny little air sacs inside your lungs, and if you inhale that, it can make them because they become inflamed and they burst. Yeah, no, they're like alveoli or something like that. Very good. They burst. They become inflamed and they burst. And when they burst, they can't intake oxygen anymore. So your lungs become scarred and you can't process air and it becomes difficult to breathe. Eventually, basically, you suffocate. That's popcorn lung. That's the chemical you want to stay away from. The other one, vaping, I know you heard that. A lot of people have heard that. Vaping is 95% safer than smoking. It depends on... I'm just going to look it up real quick. Something? Decidal. Let's look this up real quick if I can find it. Control F DYS. Decytyl. I think it's decytyl propol. Pretty damn sure. And the other one is glycol propol. So decytyl propol is what comes off of popcorn bags. And I know that a lot of people don't know a lot about vaping. A lot of people are very, very misinformed because of the American studies about vaping. The biggest thing about the American studies about vaping, and they didn't talk about popcorn lung. That's not why they're dangerous. They actually said that the vaping smoke, your nicotine, the chemicals in it when they're cooked at a really high temperature turns to formaldehyde. What they don't tell you is in order to cook it at that temperature, you need to exceed every vaporizer's safety standards and cook it at like 700 watts, which is absolutely disgusting and would burn out your coil. And no one's vaping like that. That's not a proper test of a vape. How they do them in Europe was the proper way, and the reason why they're hidden, why these studies are not talked about in America, is because people make money. Companies make money off cigarettes. Big companies like Marlboro and stuff like that make a lot of money off of cigarettes. And when people started vaping, cigarettes kind of went way downhill. No one was buying cigarettes. Cigarette companies were losing tons of money.
Marlboro was actually thinking about making a juice.
Dark Elf, enjoy. And I, again, man, I'm not here to, if you enjoy cigarettes and even if you feel they're safer, I mean, you do you. I do encourage everybody to do their own research and, get their own takeaway. Come to their own conclusions. Don't just listen to other people.
And we don't just, smoke just regular
Fearsome,
cigarettes.
As well. Also, hope you're feeling better soon. Thank you for stopping in. Hope everybody enjoys their day. That is leaving, and
chicken soup.
Be good. Yes, chicken soup. But anyways, that's what you won't hear about vapes. Is the two different types of accelerants that are in it, what popcorn lung is, and how it occurs, why. It's happening to some people that vape and some people, and then other people that vape, it doesn't.
It happened to my friend's son. He was in the hospital for 2 weeks.
Yep. Yeah.
He was on the ventilator for a week.
Yeah.
And then
popcorn lungs.
He was off, and then he got off, and then he was just on oxygen as needed, but he still had to stay in a whole nother week. And then he was back to being allowed home, but he still couldn't go to school because they didn't want him exerting himself. So, like, and all the rest of her kids vape. And, like...
Now, and I just want to also bring this up on point, and it doesn't matter what any teenager says. You can't go by what they say. Just want to put this out there as well. One of the main causes of popcorn lungs with vapes is the marijuana vapes.
Yep.
A lot of the times the accelerant that they put in the marijuana vapes is or in the juice is diacetylpropyl.
I asked her if he was smoking one of those, because she would tell me straight up.
But he wouldn't necessarily tell her or anyone else.
Yes, but he can't, because if he's positive, he'll lose his scholarship.
I understand that. The point is, and if you're using the Juuls or the disposable ones, it's the same stuff. And you got to be careful. It is very scary. And it's made a lot of people walk away from vapes. Now, this whole marijuana being legal, and some, like the disposable ones, using a chemical that is literally known to kill people. Now, why would anybody allow that chemical to be put in place? Only in those things, not from the people that are making, like other people, like the shops that we used to get it from that made the juice. How come the ones that are coming from companies that are already in disposable cartridges that you can't refill yourself with juice that yourself? I don't think it's population control. I don't like to get into big conspiracy theories, but I know if I was, a big tobacco company, and remember, companies are the ones that write laws. Companies are the ones that actually control the government. So if I was a big tobacco company, now making some vapes or vape juice and pushing marijuana's fine, put this chemical in marijuana vapes, and making some people very, very sick from vaping and using that as a scare tactic to get people addicted to nicotine back on cigarettes. Would I think that somebody would do that? Nah, of course not. Why would big tobacco do something that nefarious? There's no way that would ever happen.
Money, money, money.
But if
That's fine.
I had to really dig and search for some outside resource studies and research studies. I've done days worth of very generic research, like through YouTube and stuff like that, seeing what people say, experiments that people do, and some really in-depth research. Going to different academic websites overseas, different government websites, not like you got to hack into them government websites, but like government findings and things like that. No, nothing. I didn't go deep web on it. I'm just saying, like I did some in-depth research from sources that I knew were credible, and then I also did some other generic research as well, and it's pretty conclusive. It really just depends on how your approach is and how you're looking at it. If you're using the wrong kind of chemical and you're turning up your vapes wicked high, yeah, you're gonna kill people. You're gonna kill yourself.
Yeah, and you're gonna just make it taste nasty.
If you like, vape that doesn't taste like burnt fabric, and you enjoy that, and you're not using the wrong kind of vape fluid, you're fine.
And I had like strawberry in mine, and I turned mine up only to like 23.5.
And again, I don't know what the long-term effects are. Maybe it's worse. Maybe I'll have some really bad disease 20 years from now. I don't know. So I'm not telling everybody stop smoking and go vape.
You're lucky my arm hurts. I can't kick you right now. I'm mentally kicking you.
But for the time being, the short-term effects is it's much cleaner than smoking cigarettes, because it's not the nicotine in cigarettes that kill you.
It's the filter.
It's also the tar and stuff too.
Yeah, well,
it's the tar, yes, and the fiberglass
and the
filter
that they put in the
if
cigarettes
any of you
themselves.
Smoke cigarettes,
You're smoking embalming fluid.
If you ever smoke cigarettes, anybody that's ever smoked a cigarette, I'm sure that you've noticed that once your cigarette gets down to a certain point, the filter goes flat. Like, gets hot, and it goes flat. If you smoke your cigarette to that point and keep smoking it, you're actually smoking the filter as well. The filter is heating up, and you're actually inhaling bits of fiberglass. That is also really bad. People say that, like non-filter cigarettes are really bad for you.
That's what we smoke.
It's not that I'm not saying that I am right. But that is why we do smoke. When we are smoking, we smoke non-filter cigarettes.
My dad would give me a cigarette, and I cut the filter off.
It's the filter. The filter's really, really bad for you.
And he smokes.
Leader, how?
And
And yes, Noose, how are you, my friend? Onyx, how are you? Good morning, good afternoon. Don't worry, I'm going to take care of that right now. We are just doing some things. I guess I'm putting out some really strong opinions here. But again, I'm not trying to give you guys like, I have concrete evidence. No, I don't. This is what I've observed. This is what I've seen, and I do feel like vaping. I mean, I can walk, I can run, I can go for hikes, I can swim. If I'm smoking, man, I'm wheezing. I can't do half the things, at least not at the same proficiency. So it works for me. I know when my wife switched, she stopped hacking and wheezing in the morning. She wasn't like fighting for air every day.
I'm not fighting for air now.
Not yet, but you were also smoking for years at that point.
Yeah, since I was
It took
10.
you about a year for the vape to clean out your lungs. So
And that was more coughing.
yeah, but it was also cleaning out all that black stuff. All that black stuff you cough out, that's all that tar that's in your lungs. So I definitely do prefer vaping. I mean, even when I do like to smoke and I hive one every once in a while, I'm like, cigarette sounds good.
Once in a while.
If I stick to cigarettes and I have like 3 or 4 of them when I want nicotine, after a while my throat starts to burn. I start to cough, start wheezing. Been smoking too much. It's not a fun feeling. I'd rather vape. That's what I'm going to stick to. And that's just me. So, it's my thoughts. I think I need more coffee.
I don't know if my phone is all the way over there. Java, get my phone.
See, that's a good approach as well, Onyx. I'm also not condoning like, all right, so you should smoke or vape. That's not necessarily what I'm saying.
Everybody has a vice.
But again, just so you like, nicotine's not technically. Nicotine itself is not bad for you.
It opens up pathways.
Yes, you can die if you from an overdose on it.
But if you know
has
if you're overdosing before
no long-term effects. It doesn't affect your brain and your pathways. It doesn't. It's just addictive. The only thing about nicotine is it's extremely addictive, but it's a stimulant. It actually increases focus and recollection of information, your memory. It's something I learned about in college. It's something that I was very surprised to hear that a lot of college professors actually encourage the use of nicotine. Not smoking, but they do encourage the use of nicotine.
Now, you will know if you have too much nicotine in your system, and I found out this through what my father went through. He found out he was sick, and he kept smoking, and his doctors told him, we all told him, stop smoking so much. And he kept smoking. Finally, he started itching. And I mean, itching everywhere, and he couldn't figure out why, and they thought it was this terrible disease, and my dad was like, oh, that's a nice way
I will
to die.
not give away your identity, but hello, Cyber Shinigami. Go ahead. I just wanted to say hello.
And come to find out, it was nicotine. He was actually getting close to having heavy nicotine poisoning. So if you start to itch, stop using the nicotine for at least 24 hours. Not many people know that.
Not much. How are you? Just don't want to give you away.
It's a secret.
It could be. I don't know if it is or not.
I was playing.
I know. thank you. I do try to release some useful info when I can. All right. I think I'm really about out of topics. I mean, this kind of just turned into like a vape rant for about 40 minutes. So, I was thinking today would be a bit of a short one because I really just didn't have much to talk about today. So
Happy birthday, Mom.
Probably be closing down the stream here, pretty soon. If you guys have any questions or comments you want to throw in, by all means, go ahead and toss them in there while there is still time. Yes, and happy birthday to your mom.
That's what I just said.
I know, I was saying it as well. Very, very welcome. Yep, it does suck. That was, at least that's how I perceived it at first. I lost 20,000 subscribers and 1,500 videos and had over 1 million views and a bunch of notoriety, and everybody knew who I was. I also could never monetize my old channel. Maybe I could have some videos, but most videos I wouldn't have been able to monetize. And it reinvigorated me to do more, spread out further instead of focus on just YouTube. And I was able to publish books. I've got 7 published at the moment. The 8th one is coming soon. And I've noticed a lot of that I might not have the subscribers, but a lot of that notoriety I still retain. A lot of people still are like, hey, I know you're sociopathic pasta. And so, I mean, it does happen a lot, often enough to be able to say it happens often. So it's not that I really lost anything but subscribers. I still retained all of the notoriety. People still know who I am. My channel's now monetized, which I think is really cool. And I'm monetized, which is kind of awesome. I really don't make like a whole lot off YouTube. I've gotten paid twice in 2 years, so I get paid like once a year. But it's just nice to be able to have that. It's nice to have books published. I'm also got a podcast now. And I've also got a sister channel up, Leaving Thought from Bone on Daily Motion, just in case this one falls. So I mean, I'm kind of spread out all over the place. So it did kind of work out for the better. I hate to admit that, but in a way it kind of did. So it does suck that I lost all those subscribers. But I kind of came back with better stability. Well, thank you, Leader. I'm sure a lot of people will eventually. I noticed on my old channel before it got deleted, views were starting to go down and down and down. It was actually a point about 2 months before it closed that I was thinking about being done, stopping narrating. Just because it wasn't going, I couldn't monetize. I didn't have any books published, and the views just weren't coming in, and I was being selfish. Just put it out there. I decided not to quit, obviously, and just kept going anyway. But I did notice the views going down. When I created this new channel, I ended up with 1,000 subscribers before I ended up putting up any content, which was a really huge thing. Like, it was a lot of love from the community. I was monetized before I even had a video. Yeah, it just, I don't know. Things ended up working out for the best. People, I think, will find my channel. It's just, views have been going down in the creepypasta community, the horror narration community for a while now. I mean, look at Mr. Creepypasta's channel. He has, almost 2 million subscribers and, he's getting like 26,000 views. Whereas Mr. Ballin has 1 million subscribers, or, maybe not like 3 million, but each of his videos are getting millions of views. That's real life, real, true, scary stories that really happen. Something that, nobody had to come up with and think about, and think of. Something that someone else's story that happened to them, or their story that happened to them, and then just, telling that story instead. That's the kind of thing where the focus is right now. The horror fiction community has really died down, and a lot of that is because of fan art. Not fan art, but the fangirling art, like Jeff and Jane, the shipping, I guess you would call it, I think. Sorry, this newfangled millennial terminology it confuzzles me. The shipping art, it killed the community. So a lot of people went over to true Reddit stories, which they're no different than creepypastas and horror fiction. People say they're true, doesn't mean they're actually true. It just gives an excuse to be a little bit more loose with your writing, because it's a true story, so you're truly writing it down. You're not going to be paying attention to certain things. And I've also noticed it's given an excuse to not put in any effort towards a title. There's no title to these, because why would there be? It's not a story, right? It's a true account. So then the title for the video is the first 2 sentences of the story. And it just feels so non-creative to me. So I'm sticking with what I do. And absolutely, it doesn't surprise me true crime's getting attacked by YouTube. Just like creepypastas did. So that will be the next thing. But that's why I've spread out into books, Daily Motion, which, by the way, guys, I just want to put this out there. YouTube really does need competition. That's why they do whatever the hell they want to do and are allowed to do it, is because there's no other websites out there that are like YouTube. Daily Motion is pretty damn close now. They've really updated their websites. You have unlimited videos you can put up, unlimited length. It's super, super simple to become verified. Doesn't cost you anything. Channel banners, the whole 9. It's basically like a YouTube sister site. So I've got Cleaving Thought from Bone on Daily Motion. Every Saturday I put up the same video there that I put up here. So it's definitely comparable, and I definitely recommend not just following me, but anybody else you guys might follow on YouTube that does horror content. Try and follow them in some other kind of digital space. And keep them, in your contacts. Keep them, someplace where you're able to find them if you want to go looking for them. Because YouTube can shut those people down at any minute. YouTube could shut me down at any minute. I just discussed this a couple weeks ago on a stream. It's actually why my videos now all end with that little outro that says, YouTube is a very unstable environment for horror creation and all that stuff. Is because Be My Valentine got removed for breaking community guidelines on sexual content and nudity. Now, the story is about a girl who has a hard time with Valentine's Day, and they go to where her husband and her go to her college, and at the end of the story, you find out the reason she's upset is because she was attacked. And that's what I say, attacked. You could take that how you want. And then the very end of the story is her husband is actually her attacker. He changed his name and had plastic surgery. So that's the very end of the story. And it got flagged for nudity and sexual content and breaking community standards. Now, I did send a letter back to YouTube telling them that I really encourage them to actually take a listen to the story before just removing it. And my channel I have a warning sitting on my channel. If I get flagged again, I won't be able to upload for a week. And they removed the video. They took it down, made it unavailable. So I did write a letter back. The video is back up now. It took a couple weeks, but they did put the video back up. But I still have that warning. That's still there. So even though it was a wrong claim, a false claim, if I get claimed again, false or not, apparently, I won't be able to upload for a week. And that, you know me, that's important to me. I have to be able to give you guys videos every week. So follow me in other places. In the description to this, in the description to all my videos now, you'll find links to me on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, for my podcast. Again, every Friday, I put up the story that I put up here on Saturday. If you follow me on my podcast, you'll get the story a day early. Daily Motion, my link in the description, the sister channel, the mirror channel to this, follow me there. That way, if this gets taken down at any point in time for any frivolous reason that YouTube just doesn't really care, because I'm a smaller channel. I don't even get recommended anymore. They don't promote me. Ever since like Disney and Brie Larson and everybody took over Nintendo, all these corporations that paid, YouTube money, take away the dislike buttons, please, and all this other stuff, they don't recommend smaller channels anymore. And especially horror narration. Fictional horror narration doesn't really get promoted at all. So it's all word of mouth. So if you guys enjoy my content too, please spread the word around. Tell people to come to check me out and that they like the channel if they like original horror content. Because it's about the only way that people are going to hear about me now. I tell people about myself. I'm always promoting myself, through Twitter and stuff like that. And Twitter's even dying. Twitter's just a place for social discussions about political views. And I really don't like getting into those. Facebook. Everyone wants to see dog pictures. No one really seems to care much about stories. But, there are a few. It depends on which groups you post in. And I do have some people that really enjoy that I post my stories every week. So you do pick up a few along the way. It's all about, getting out and promoting myself. So, but yeah, that's YouTube for you. So if you guys like my content, just, make sure you stick with me. YouTube's not going to remind you. If you click the notification bell and all that stuff, you're probably still not going to get notified. I get that all the time. I don't ever get the notifications. I know. YouTube doesn't send them out. Basically being shadow blocked by YouTube. So trying, especially as a horror author these days, is very challenging. Not only is the genre, that niche of horror dying out. People don't read. Most people don't buy books. People don't want to hear fake stories really anymore. People want to hear real stories about things that really happened. Between that and then, the platforms that I'm posting to just kind of sweeping me under the rug on top of it, it is very challenging. And sometimes it is hard to keep motivated. But in that same instant, I always remember why I do this in the first place. And I do it to contribute to the genre. I have faith that someday, probably after I'm dead anyway, this will all be discovered. All these stories, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, will all be discovered at some point. And I do it because I like it. I enjoy the Saturday stories. I miss Tales from the Crypt. I miss the Crypt Keeper. And yeah, I'm the one doing the stories and making the videos and putting them up, and I listen to them beforehand, too, to make sure that they're, the way I want them to be. But I look forward to every single Saturday. Every single Saturday. And I also always forget my little puns in the outro. So I always make myself laugh because I'm not expecting the joke. I forget what I said. So that's always fun. I actually, legitimately enjoy my own content. Cyber, you're right. Creativity is dying. Take a look at Hollywood. Everything is remakes and requels. That's even what the Scream movie was about. They were calling it a requel, and how it pays homage to the fans without destroying the old timelines. But that's actually just a really shady excuse to tell a story that's already been told and hinge on the nostalgia of old stories that have already been done right. Just make your own story. Make something new and make it good. It's not... I'm not a fan of the requel. Not a fan of, well, we'll just do a half-step remake, but we'll also make it a sequel by bringing back legacy characters as well. Just do a new movie. Make it good. Come up with a new idea. Stop making sequels. Leave Friday the 13th alone. I'm cool with that. Make something new. Make another Friday the 13th. Give me 13 new movies about a brand new serial killer that is just as badass in a different way than Jason. Even you can even put him at a summer camp. I'm cool with that. But make it good. And don't tell me that you can't, because look at Locust Lakes. Locust Lakes are an homage to Friday the 13th. But they're not so much like Friday the 13th that they're not original. And there is, like, in the underlying arc with the Ahab and the curse and the Native American legend. And it's fleshed out differently. You don't see that a lot with things anymore. And yeah, I agree. It makes me sad. Well, thank you, Leader. I appreciate it very much. And I'm 40. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I'm not going to be quitting horror creation at all. And someday, decades and decades from now, when I do finally pass on, my daughter's getting everything. She's getting the passwords to my YouTube channel. She's getting the passwords to my Amazon account. She's going to get the rights to my books. She's going to be the one that keeps it going. In fact, she's writing now. She's writing for my channel. Her first video comes out the first Thursday in February. So, my content will always be here. The books, especially, books will always be there now. They're like my testament. Just like my daughter is my legacy, so are the books that I've created. They'll be there forever. I'm glad you're back as well. Really, I really am. It's always really, really nice to hear from somebody that has been with me from my old channel and remembers me from my old channel. That really does make me feel very good. Because when Sociopathic Pasta got terminated and I lost 20,000 subscribers and all that, attention, it felt like a part of my life had died. Like a part of it had just been ripped away. Like, I really liked writing horror stories. I really liked creating for the genre. And I just felt like that was just taken away. And that made me very, very sad. So to hear, and I've dealt with it, and I've actually come to a very good place now. But to hear that someone remembers me from then, it helps me feel like, I didn't die. The community really did resurrect me. I didn't want to come back at first, and I was kind of told that I should to show my fans that I would fight. And then I did, and I ended up with almost 1,000 subscribers before I had a video. The community resurrected me, so I can't express my thanks for that enough to all of you. Thank you. And Cyber, it's fine. I've seen a lot of people that have disappeared for a while and come back after months. Everybody has to deal with things sometimes, man. Life does that. But that's the great thing about YouTube, is the stories are there. If you ever want to go back and listen, if you need something to help you get through your work day or whatever it is that you're doing, they'll be there. And it'll be all stuff that you haven't heard before. So that's where I can contribute. But if you need to take care of things and take care of family, it's fine. Don't worry about not being here. You got to do you. It's totally fine. I totally get it. As content creators, you're busy. I know that because I'm busy. Between the writing and the narrating and the editing and even the uploading, when you have like 4 or 5 uploads at once to do, it takes time. And then I'm also uploading to a side channel, and I'm rendering stories in audio form and uploading them to a podcast, and I'm trying to promote videos, and man, oh man, does that take time. On top of family, on top of work, on top of anything else that's life. Content creators get busy. If a content creator can't watch all my videos, or can't watch even most of them, That's fine. I do assume that the reason that most of the content creators here, like myself, the goal is to get viewers, to get the fans watching. Content creators help because they can help you with your channel and you can collaborate and it helps you to get more attention. But as far as a content creator being a viewer, if a content creator ends up being a viewer, that means that they're taking out of all that other stuff they've got going on, they're still taking the time to go back and watch my videos or watch the videos as a content creator. That's huge. That's not something that I really ever expect. I do get that you guys are busy. Even if you like my content, I get that you can't always be here. So really don't worry about that. Yes, and I know that you and IPA have actually been introduced for a while. Yep, back since the old channel. And I knew you as a writer first. So it's kind of been really cool, even through my own journey, to kind of watch you grow from somebody who wrote every once in a while to somebody who wrote all the time to somebody who now is writing and narrating for their own channel and has become, a YouTube narrator and content creator themselves. It's been kind of neat. And again, I do that for a lot of people. You did that all on your own, but there are a lot of people that I help along that journey. And it's always nice to help cultivate that in people. So that watching someone take that journey is always fun. Yep, one-man army, jack of all trades. So that's... And that's the other thing, too. A lot of the bigger content creators, like Mr. Ballin and stuff like that, they have a team. It's not just Mr. Ballin doing his YouTube videos and narrating and editing and uploading. He has a team. He has an editor. He has a bunch of people that help him do merch and run the merch pages. It's a business. That's what he does for a living. And he only, even though he's doing that full time as a living, he's only uploading once or twice a week. He's still got the team doing most of the work. So, I mean, if I had the means and I could employ 5 or 6 people to just help me create awesome... Dude, this would be a television show. every Saturday would be a freaking television show. The production is what it is because I'm working on limited time and I'm working by myself. That being said, I am always refining that process. I'm always finding new ways to make the audio clearer, make my voice stronger, to articulate and voice act better. I'm always tweaking intros and outros, and there's always evolution going on. So I do want to thank you all for sticking with me for so long and your understanding. And not going to lie, getting, a video out every single week for every Saturday and then every Tuesday and Thursday as well can be a challenge sometimes. But it's not as challenging as some might think. At least I've got my portion of what I'm able to do down to a science so I can get it done nice and quick. So Fridays are the biggest one. Yes, and then getting around and watching content that's the thing. It's very difficult. And that's why, PA, sometimes I'm not able to make it. And I know that you understand that because you're a content creator yourself. And it's not that I don't like your content. It's not that I don't like your stories. It's that I'm very busy. And sometimes I just can't stop in on a Tuesday or you do Mondays or Wednesdays. Edge does Tuesdays. And sometimes I'm just not able. So I do appreciate very much the understanding. I really do. It takes a lot. In the past couple months, I have been, for lack of a better word, ineloquently, I've been balls to the wall trying to get this Locust Lake book done. Now that it's basically done, my time's a little bit more free. I've got more time to write again. So I've gone back to writing a lot. But my voice is getting a little bit hoarse and scratchy because I've been talking for about an hour and 4 minutes. Apparently I had more to say than I thought I did. I want to thank you all for stopping in. I absolutely love you guys. Hope you had a great Sunday morning. Thanks for spending some of your Sunday with me. It's Blood and Beans are always a lot of fun, but I don't ever really expect them to be because I always go in with I got nothing to talk about today. But that's kind of the whole point, I guess, right? So, thank you all for being here so much. Hope you have a great day. Enjoy the rest of what's left of your weekend. Please be safe, stay healthy. Dragons will be coming, Edge. I know I keep saying that, but I haven't forgotten. Dragons are coming. one channel or another. Love you guys. Please be good out there, be safe out there, and hope to see you on the next round, maybe even Friday, for the Locust Lake live reading. So, cool beans. Bye-bye. Ta-ta for now. TTFN.